Right-wing pundit Candace Owens says that she has been denied a COVID test. She posted on Twitter, holy crap, we can say that. I just received an email from a COVID testing facility that they are refusing to administer a test to me because they don't like my politics. Insane. I'm banned from making sure I don't accidentally spread COVID. Going live with the email on Instagram in 10 minutes. So we're gonna get to that email in one sec. I just wanna say that the word accidentally is doing a lot of work there. When like you brag constantly about not getting the vaccine and how you refuse to wear masks unless you're legally required to. Sure, I guess it's still technically an accident if you spread it, but it's not the same sort of accident. If I go on a ladder and I fall off, that's an accident. If I smear my feet with butter and then run to the top of the ladder and fall off, it's still an accident, but it's not the same thing really. So let's just bear that in mind. But that said, she did post on Instagram the letter, and I'm gonna quickly go through it. They said, and we don't know who this is, but they said, I've just learned of this testing request, and as the owner of this business, I am going to refuse this booking and deny service. We cannot support anyone who has proactively worked to make this pandemic worse by spreading misinformation, politicizing and discouraging the wearing of masks, and actively dissuading people from receiving life-saving vaccinations. That said, they do give her an alternative to do, but it's worded a little bit funny. The only other local testing option is the free kiosk by City Hall. They mail their tests to Texas and have inconsistent result times, do not take appointments, so it's walk in only, midday weekdays in their back alley. So, and then they talk about how they've done a bunch of work that she is undermining. It's an interesting thing for a testing clinic to do, Jackson. What do you make of it?
Well, first I want to take this opportunity to say that Candace Owens is a clown. And after that, I'd like to take the opportunity. I'd like to just say, well, at the end of the day, and I was kind of curious when I first saw this, like, did they actually say because of your politics, or was it like if you're not vaccinated and on mask? But at the end of the day, that's not a public institution, is it? It's not a, she can just go get a COVID test in another place, which again goes back to the whole thing about her being a charlatan and just a showman, is she's taking an opportunity to blow this up and spread the narrative for what people want to hear. I mean, she's facing a $20 million defamation lawsuit because she made a 40-minute video talking about things that she said, I can't prove this. I have absolutely no proof of this, but this woman was doing all this illegal stuff and she's a terrible person. And for 40 minutes, that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of dedication, because it takes time and effort to be a clown, and you got to keep the show going. And I have she really, Candace, I really don't like her. Like I really don't. I have issues with her, and I don't care to say that publicly.
Yeah, that's true. Look, I think there's a lot of grifters out there. I think that she does a worse job than most of hiding how grifty it is. She doesn't care about any of this. She doesn't. It's all purely for the following, for the money.
That's it.
And now for the consequences. So the consequences are she can't get the test there. Now, here, let's have a little fun. If you were in charge of the testing clinic, would you test her?
I wouldn't if she refused to come in and follow our guidelines. I don't know if I necessarily personally would have sent her a letter like that. But I mean, I would have just kept it strict, just like anybody else. If you don't follow our guidelines, you can't get our test, and it's as simple as that.
That's interesting. Okay, well, let's say she does follow the guidelines. She wears a mask as she goes in. Would you not do it because she's undermining your work? She's making more people get sick. She doesn't seem to care what happens to people in healthcare and all that.
I don't know if I personally would take that same approach. I can't just say yes or no. I don't have a problem with the fact that she did that because it's her practice and she can do as she like. But as someone who owns a platform myself, there's a variety of different ways to go about sending a message. So she could have done it that way or perhaps a different way. So I think at the end of the day, though, she made a decent stand by saying, look, what you're doing is hurting my purpose and drive in life. I'm here to help keep people safe, and you're actively going against it. So I think that, her taking a stand, she took an opportunity to do something that's getting attention right now.
Yeah, I think, I do like the stand. I think if it was me, I would probably just do it. because she probably is at risk of giving other people COVID at all times. So, I want to make sure that she does that as little as possible. And also, she seems litigious. I don't want to be sued by Candace Owens. So I probably would just test her, I guess. I'd be frustrated by it because she's the worst. But yeah. Anyway, and just briefly, the right has blown up recently. They're gonna freak out about this today. Don't worry, Ben Shapiro's already readying a monologue. But they were already mad at Don Lemon because recently he said to some unvaccinated people that are now going to hospitals with COVID, he was doing a rant. You got to watch the rant to actually understand what he was saying and everything. Fox doesn't care about that, but he said, "Don't take up resources. That's how I feel, and I have no apologies." Which is obviously like, Don Lemon, I think, is lashing out emotionally there. What do you think about that? About him saying like, if you haven't taken this seriously, you shouldn't be taking up hospital resources now?
Well, it's something nice to say, but it doesn't really change or add anything in reality. Like people are still gonna make their moves, and as someone again who gets that type of attention, I've just learned like the deeper I get into having a career at all, the more I realize that sometimes you just shouldn't say stuff. Not necessarily because you can't handle the heat, but the heat isn't always necessary.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing like, especially as I get deeper into politics, is if we can't find a way to connect, then there's never going to be any type of coming together. There's never gonna be any solutions. There's never, and as simple as that sounds, the longer I'm in politics, the more tired I get of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that, while it may prove a point, it doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think I'm just like, my perspective on how to go about things is evolving as I get deeper into this space. But everything holds its necessary place. You know what I mean? You need a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Maybe some people find it cathartic to see people in the news sort of like lash out based on the whole thing. But yeah, I do. Sometimes I don't send tweets that I've typed out. It does happen from time to time.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
But again, it just everything serves its place. Sometimes people need to be fired up just so they can act, just so they can do. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot to the puzzle. It's a lot to the puzzle.
I don't even remember why. The one that I didn't end up sending, I don't remember the point I was trying to make, but it was something to the effect of, like, if next year there's a pandemic of like these contagious, deadly worms, the right is gonna be fighting to the death to not take dewormer. Like it's all so contingent. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.